Hi guys, my name is Nitin Sajdeva, co-chair of Meeting Means Business India, and today I have with me Mr. Gaurav Luthra, who is the Chief Operating Officer for FCM Travel Solutions. He's looking after the corporate travel business of FCM across the country. And today he's joined the Positivity campaign to share with us his perspective on what are the positives that he sees from this crisis. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for joining the Positivity campaign.
Thank you, Nitin. It's my pleasure. The moment I saw the word positivity, I think I just jumped onto the opportunity.
So, what do you think are the positives as per your perspective that you think would drive out of this particular crisis?
Yeah, I think we all recognize it's a big crisis, big Mahem and pandemic. Looking for positives out of crisis is something which is not so easy. But I think all the businesses, all the professionals, individuals across the globe are getting forced to have a look at that perspective very very uniquely. Have a look at how the businesses are going to perform, how these few weeks of strenuous stuff that everybody is going through lead to a certain development of or certain reshaping of individuals and also reshaping of the organizations. I think this is the third or the fourth crisis that we've seen or at least I've seen in my work span of good 20-21 years in the Indian travel industry. And it's no different to the others, but it's come back relatively faster, stronger in comparison to the previous times. And the big difference that I see is the impact of the social media. While the social media has impacted people to sit back and take some very active, reactive steps in their businesses, in their personal lives, in the way they conduct their day-to-day stuff. Social media should also help us find some more active, positive things that we can spread around, having conversations with each other. In terms of business, I would say definitely each and every business is going to sit back and think what are the stuffs that we need to keep in mind for BCP, business continuity plans that every business has a BCP, and so did we. We kicked in our BCP fairly well before the lockdown. But that BCP only takes care of the continuity up to a certain this thing. But this is very different. This is many weeks into the lockdown, and virtually no transactions, nothing happening around us. The countries many other countries have locked down. The airlines have shut their operations. The hotels have slowly shutting down their inventories. I think everywhere there is a big lockdown taking place. So there are virtually zero transactions taking place, be it FITs, be it GITs, or be it corporate travel, or domestic travel, or international travel, or any sphere of the business that we may say, inbound, outbound, or MICE. Everybody is almost at a total shutdown. I think the key thing is to sit back and compose yourself as the first activity that is required by all of us. Look at how you want to absorb this information. There is a whole lot of news. There is a whole lot of information on the media, on social media, on TV, newspapers, our friends, our WhatsApp groups. Everybody is trying to share something or the other. You need to articulate what you need to consume and how much you need to consume, and how much can you process humanly, and then bifurcate between the positives and the negative of the news. Segregate your thinking. The first thing that we did was when the lockdown happened. Fortunately, just before the lockdown, we triggered our work from home policy for all our employees across the country, and we're talking about not 100, 200. We're talking about almost like 2,000 employees across the country. And one thing that I take pride that we are a very agile organization. We believed in a family village and tribe philosophy, and work very cohesively as teams. It was extremely easy for us to set up the BCP, but within a week we realized BCP is something that's only going to work in the short term. We need to trigger the emergency response. We looked at our emergency response. We spoke to our emergency teams across the country, disseminated those emergency teams also to work from home, because there's no workplace. Your home is your workplace.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing that we did. And when we did that, only three things came to our mind. People, which is our people and people in general. How can we be human? How can we create human-to-human interactions which are helpful to others? Second thing that came to our mind was our customers. How do we look after our customers in this time? How can we be useful to our customers? When I say be useful in this time, or when the airlines are cancelling the flights, or customers who are already traveling abroad, they have to come back. How do you organize their return back home? There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear. How do we absorb, or how do we strengthen our employees to be able to take those calls and to be able to absorb that information and then come back with the right solution? In coordination with our suppliers. Our suppliers are essentially airlines and hotel companies and some other agencies across the world. So second thing was customers, and the third thing was suppliers. How do you manage to have your continuity of connect with suppliers? That was the short term, and then obviously you need to trigger some long term initiatives that you don't know. Like we were discussing previously, we don't know how long will this pandemic take to end. Will it be a week 1 or a week 2 or a week 3 or a week 4, or maybe a month 1 or a month 2 or a month 3? As of now, the outlooks are probably how you have a virtually nil revenue coming in, but you have your cost bases which are up and running. How do you stabilize your cost bases and plan for continuity? In this stoppage, how do you engage with the three parties that I just outlined more constructively and be able to spread a positive, constructive message to your people, have solutions for your customers, and also engage with your suppliers to see how things can still continue. So the first message that went out to everybody from our side was, hang on, let's absorb, let's take the information, let's filter it carefully, and then think of what we need to do. We're working from home. It's not a holiday. While we are working from home, what are the things that we can do? The question is, when we are working from home, it's not our office, it's the family space, it's the space for the wife and the children and parents and brothers and sisters. So you can't implement strict office kind of environment in the house. It's taxing for the others as well. And the others, while you are coping to do your work from home, the others are also coping to spend quality work, quality home time, or constructive home time while nobody can step out. So I think this is what we triggered in the first go. The key to the message here is that we're working from home. It's not a holiday. As long as we condition our minds that we're working, we will always think in the direction of what more can be done. What is it that we can do to take the benefit of whatever little we can do sitting in our homes. I will give you a people's perspective first. When we communicated with our people, we decided that we need to clearly demonstrate to our people, or tell our people, or communicate to our people what are the top 3 things that we have when we have them in mind. And the top 3 things when we have them in mind is, tell them that their families are first, their work is secondary. They need to be safe. They need to look after their families. They need to be comfortable, and then they need to think of working. That's the first message, and thereafter, obviously, we triggered a lot of communication with our employees. Communication is key.
Absolutely.
The first thing that we learned was, do we want to overload our employees with communication, which is already so much of communication available about the coronavirus and stuff like that, and so much of anxiety, fear, which is already there in the minds of people. But first and foremost, be safe. Yeah, that was the clear message. Second was, you are at home. While you're working, you're at home. It's your family place. Yeah, so it's okay to be casual. You don't have to be regimental. Leave your environment the way it is. So that was the message to people.
So Gaurav, you have shared a lot of positive stuff that the organization has done to keep the employees motivated, to keep the customers, safe, and also to take care of how the suppliers are doing. What is your plan of action with the leadership team doing it?
So Nitin, at the team level, at the leadership team, we decided that we will have more conversations with each other. We decided that we will have a call every day, every morning, for hour and a half. We're discussing, starting with obviously checking in for each other and asking each other how we are feeling. If anybody wants to take the moment of opportunity to share something, a level of anxiety or anything that they're going through, their emotions, create a little bit of more EQ environment for everybody to come up with, joke a little bit, create a lighter moment, and then get into business conversations of what's happening in each area. As you know, in India, the FCM establishment does not only have corporate businesses, but we also have retail inbound. We also have MICE, we also have outbound division, and we also have foreign exchange. So all the business leaders come together, have conversations, discuss what happens in our areas, what are the steps that we are taking, how are we having conversations with our people, largely on the lines of how are we trying to spread more empathy, more love for our people, how are we encouraging them to be at ease, how are we having conversations with our people, crisp conversations with our people multiple times, to be able to give them that ease. So that's what we are doing, and that's at the top level, and then obviously it flows down to level 2s and level 3s and level 4s. We're having more frequent conversations with our people. In fact, we're having conversations to the extent where we are even organizing social gatherings between our teams and our people. Cocktail parties hosted by somebody or the other, electronic cocktail party. High teas hosted. So, basically coming together as a team.
Today's time demands all of this stuff because it's important to keep the employees and the colleagues motivated and make them understand that we are all in this together. It's not one person or one company or one country or one state. It's the global problem. So I think you guys are doing a great job of keeping not only your internal people but your external customers and all of the other parties involved very connected, very well communicated, because I think communication is definitely a game changer now than ever. On the other hand, you also mentioned how you are doing these parties and high teas and to keep people engaged. I think that's really something a lot of people can do, and what your leadership team is doing is awesome, because sharing each other's anxiety can really help as a team together.
Yeah, just one more thing I'd like to add in addition to this. We have a large workforce and very distributed workforce. Not everybody is operating from their hometown or not necessarily are with their families.
Yeah.
With the lockdown, many people are not able to go back to their original hometowns. So some people may be alone at home. Some people may be in a rented apartment or something like that. We've also launched a distress call mechanism where we've appointed an internal committee, as well as also invited on the committee some of the external lifestyle coaches, professionals from the industry, to be able to have conversations. If some of our employees feel the need to have more personalized one-on-one conversations about how they are feeling or how they are going through this hard time.
Sure.
So that's also one big step towards creating a little bit of sense of belongingness. On the customer front, likewise, we've encouraged various teams to have repeat conversations with customers, make the customers feel that we have triggered in our duty of care from the very moment that we heard this pandemic. We've gone back voluntarily to our customers, approaching them if they need any help or if they need any support in coming back, in altering, in cancelling, in rescheduling their travel plans. I mean, instead of waiting for the customers to come back and approach you, it's the best way is, why don't you reach out to who you care for? We have the duty of care is in our DNA as an organization, be it corporate, be it any business stream, whether it is MICE or any other business. So a lot of corporate engagements are taking place, trying to organize all of this. Lot of information, relevant information for the use of corporates is also shared on social media by some of us. Things like how to set up your work home environment, how to sit ergonomically, what kind of chair to choose, how to prepare yourself for creating an electronic office, checklists on various things. Or if you're stuck overseas, or if you're stuck outside your work environment, what are the do's and don'ts you need to do, how you can approach us or reach us. Apart from this, regular business conversations, like even the reviews, we've gone ahead and done e-reviews with our customers. So the key to positivity or positive message here for everybody is, which I would like to convey to my other industry colleagues or friends, whoever is going to see this video, is to treat this moment also business as usual, to create that continuity of activities that we are supposed to be doing every day, and also take this opportunity to sit back, relax, clear your mind, think through with a clear mind on what are the next steps. Nobody knows the future. None of us can predict. We can come up with our theories, but essential. What is business essential? What is essential? People are essential for business. Your business planning is essential for business. Go back to your drawing boards. Look at your business plans. Redo your business plans. Redo your processes, because this is going to also alter your way of things, your processes, things that we do today, how we are going to do those things in future. So all of that requires a lot of clear mind for people to be able to do that. So very, very important to declutter yourself for all of that. Having fear is not going to help. Having fear is absolutely not going to help, because fear can only trigger anxiety and stress. With anxiety and stress, you cannot declutter yourself.
Sure.
Like you mentioned, we are all in it together.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Gaurav. Thanks a lot for sharing so many positive opportunities that people can actually pick it up from this conversation and implement them in their environment, big or small, medium, whatever it may be. Because I'm sure all of this is very well thought of, and it covers the whole spectrum of people involved in the whole ecosystem that FCM is working with. Thank you so much once again for joining in and sharing your positive thoughts.